Thank you all for coming. We greatly appreciate it. Everyone who is here in person and also joining us via live stream. My name is Robin Lawson. I am the Public Relations Director for the Virginia State Police. We are especially grateful today to have our partners at the FBI and Hampton Police Department joining us today as well. The press conference today will consist of several speakers, and then we will open the floor to questions. So I ask the media to please hold their questions until then. On behalf of the Virginia State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation, Chesapeake Field Office, and the Isle of Wight County Commonwealth's Attorney, we are here to announce that a suspect has been identified in the 1988 cold case of Gloucester County teen Lori Ann Powell. Through advanced forensic evidence analyzed and certified by DNA Labs International, located in Deerfield, Florida, Alan Wade Wilmer, Sr., has been declared the person responsible for Powell's homicide. As a result of the forensic findings, the Isle of Wight Commonwealth's Attorney confirms that if Alan Wilmer Sr. was alive today, he would be charged for Powell's homicide. To the victim's family, Mr. and Mrs. Compton, and the Kirchner family, we express our sincere condolences for your loss and the pain you have experienced these past 37 years. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding as our agencies worked toward solving this case. Wilmer Sr. died in December 2017 at the age of 63 at his residence in Lancaster County, Virginia. Powell was last seen alive on March 8, 1988, walking along Route 614 towards Route 17 in Gloucester County, Virginia. Tragically, her body was discovered on April 2, 1988, in the Elizabeth River near Craney Island. Powell had been stabbed multiple times. She was just 18 years old. The break in Powell's case came through the hard work of agents assigned to the Virginia State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation, Chesapeake and Richmond field offices, and analysts assigned to the Homeland Security Division's Violent Crime Analytical Support Team, also known as VCAST. Additional support for this investigation was provided by the Virginia Office of the Attorney General, Jason Miyares, who funded analytical support and testing via the Virginia Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, also known as SAKI. Many in this region will recall in January 2024, it was determined that if not for Wilmer's death, charges would have also been filed against him in connection with 3 other murders: David Knobling and Robin Edwards in Isle of Wight in 1987, and Teresa Lynn Spall Howell in Hampton in 1989. Knobling and Edwards' deaths occurred during a series of double murders collectively known as the Colonial Parkway murders. We are still seeking the public's help through our continued efforts to seek justice for the victims of these and other unsolved crimes. Today's announcement also does not conclude our agency's investigative efforts to determine if Alan Wilmer Sr. was responsible for additional crimes. While primarily led by the Virginia State Police Bureau of Investigation Chesapeake Field Office, the Lori Ann Powell homicide cold case investigation has been part of continuing collaborative efforts between VSP, FBI, and the Hampton Police Department. I would now like to call forward Captain Timothy Ribel, Commander of the Bureau of Criminal Investigation Chesapeake Field Office, to share details about this case.
Thanks, Robin. Good morning and welcome. And a special welcome to Lori Ann's family. Her mother, Joanne Compton, her stepdad, John, who raised Lori Ann, her sister Cindy, her husband John, and their daughter Mackenzie. Thank you for being here with us today. The resolution of Lori Ann's homicide case was the direct result of persistent and collaborative investigative efforts taken by multiple agencies. That enabled the Virginia Division of Forensic Sciences to collectively link Alan Wilmer Sr. to David Knobling and Robert Edwards, as well as Teresa Howe's deaths, and then ultimately to link Wilmer Sr. to Lori Ann's death. You may recall Wilmer Sr. had no felonies on his criminal record, so his DNA had never been obtained until it was necessary for identification purposes after his death. Interagency cooperation to include the sharing of Wilmer Sr.'s genetic profile was crucial in helping us achieve these long-awaited results. We recognize this announcement has been a long time coming, especially for Lori Ann's family. While we hope this provides a sense of resolution to the family, we recognize there are other families of homicide victims who are still hoping for answers. That's why we continue to push forward with our investigations. We are not ruling anything out when we examine other cases and pursue new ones. Our agencies collectively are still seeking to work to reconstruct Wilmer Sr.'s movements and encounters. Again, we're asking for the public's help in doing this. In the press package, or the press release, there's background information regarding Wilmer Sr. I just want to take a few minutes and go over that information. Wilmer Sr., who went by the nickname Pokey, was 5'5", muscular, and weighed approximately 165 pounds. He had sandy brown hair, blue eyes, and would sport a close-cropped beard. Wilmer drove a distinctive blue 1966 Dodge Fargo pickup truck with Virginia license plate EMRAW, raw, and typically had clamming equipment and a large affixed metal toolbox in the bed. This was just one of several pickup trucks that Wilmer Sr. drove during the 1980s and early 90s. Wilmer Sr. also had a small commercial fishing boat named the Denny Wade. It was a 1976 custom-built wooden boat. He often lived on it during this period, and he would dock in marinas in Gloucester and Middlesex, as well as Northern Neck and Hampton Roads. His trade during the 80s was a fisherman, mainly clams and oysters, and he also ran his own tree service called Better Tree Services. He was an avid hunter, and he belonged to at least one local hunt club in the region. Again, we are asking for the public's help. Any tip could be useful in solving other cold cases. We will go where the evidence takes us. We can't do it alone. We need your help. What Lori Ann's case and other resolved cold cases demonstrates is that our agents and analysts, along with our local and federal partners who are here with us today, continually and diligently investigate to seek justice and/or resolution for the victims and their families. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize some folks, and I'm sorry I didn't do it at the beginning. We have with us today Mr. Mike Peasley, Crim ASAC with FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations. We have our Commonwealth Attorney from the Isle of Wight, Ms. Georgette Phillips. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Rival. Today, we would like to spend time focusing on Lori Ann Powell, remembering her for the intelligent, beautiful, and talented young woman that she was, and the positive impact she had on so many others. I would now like to turn the podium over to Lorianne's sister, Cindy Kirchner.
Good morning. After 37 years of heartbreak and unanswered questions, our family has finally received the long-awaited news that the murder of our beloved daughter, sister, Lorianne, has been solved. We are profoundly grateful to the dedicated law enforcement professionals, investigators, forensic teams, and community members who never gave up on finding justice for Lorianne. Their tireless efforts, advanced technology, and unwavering commitment brought us the answers we have prayed for. While nothing can erase the pain of losing Lorianne, today we find comfort in knowing that the truth has come to light and that accountability has finally been achieved. We hope this resolution brings a measure of peace to everyone who loved her and all the families still waiting for justice in unsolved cases. Thank you for letting me make that statement, but I want to talk a little bit about my sister. Lorianne lived her life. She was a young woman trying to find her way, navigating the world, making choices, learning, growing, chasing her dreams, and trying to build her future like anyone else her age. She had the fearless energy, the kind that drew people in and reminded them to appreciate every day. She didn't wait for life to happen. She made it happen. She was bold, brave, spontaneous, full of life, witty, smart, and beautifully herself, a true firecracker. She spoke her mind, followed her heart, and never apologized for being herself. She wasn't afraid to take chances or make mistakes. She believed in living every moment as if it mattered, because to her it did. She was a remarkable human being. Her laughter was contagious, her energy unforgettable, and her courage inspiring. She taught us what it means to be fully, not with caution, but with courage and joy. Live fully. She deserved so much more time here, but being her sister for 18 years was a privilege. I will always be grateful that she was my sister, that I got to love her and be loved by her in this lifetime and be a part of her beautiful, fearless journey, even for a short while. She filled her life and ours with more joy and love than some people find in a lifetime. Thank you for letting me tell you about my sister. She was a wonderful person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Kirchner. In your media packets, you will also find a statement from the Wilmer family. We are asking that the media please respect their privacy as well as the privacy of the victim's family as they all grieve during this difficult time. In closing, we are encouraging anyone who may have information about Alan Wilmer Sr. to contact investigators by reaching out to the Virginia State Police by email at questions@vsp.virginia.gov. Even though Alan Wilmer Sr. is deceased, it is not too late to come forward. Information can be provided anonymously. We will now open it up for questions.
What is the evidence that was used to connect Alan Wilmer Sr. to Lorianne? What can you tell us about the evidence, specifically about what it was that connected the dots?
Captain Rival.
The DNA evidence. That's what connected it.
What can you tell us about the DNA evidence? What was sampled?
The DNA evidence was the result of Glorianne being sexually assaulted.
And also tying it in with Teresa and also Robin.
So two different, yes.
Is there anything else you can tell us about Howard Wilmer Sr. and his connections to some of these other cases that have not been solved?
Just that
Kathleen Thomas, Rebecca Ann
nothing is being ruled out. Some of these cases are within the purview of my office, our Richmond field office, and the Bureau of Criminal Investigations. Collectively, we are looking at these cases as a group and have been for some time. And as in my earlier remarks, we're not ruling anything out.
And dealing with Brian Pettinger, you and I spoke about it earlier.
Correct.
What can you say about Brian Pettinger, the proximity of where he was found, and also with Lori and Powell, and also the time that all of this was occurring around the other cases dealing with the Columbia Park?
So, again, the Pettinger case, primary jurisdiction of the agency that holds that case currently is Suffolk. And I don't want to comment on that. That is their case, but I will tell you, we have been talking with Suffolk. We will continue to collaborate with them and share what information we have.
So this is being charged, or would have been charged in Isle of Wight County, I understand.
Correct.
Why Isle of Wight? She was last seen in Gloucester. How do you?
So the code permits, Virginia law permits, that if anyone kills more than one person in a 3-year period, that those offenses can be tried in any jurisdiction in which those killings may be prosecuted.
So do you have any idea where the murder occurred? Do you think it occurred in Gloucester?
No. All we can definitively say is that her bodies were recovered in the waters of the Elizabeth River off Craney Island.
So generally that would have been a Norfolk case, I guess, if the body was found. Or Portsmouth.
I can't speak. Yeah, I can't speak to that.
So the circumstances of her case is still a mystery. There's so many unknown things about this case,
Oh.
correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And then, do we know if his DNA has been entered into CODIS, the U.S. National DNA Database?
It's prohibited from being entered into CODIS because in order for it to be entered in CODIS, you have to be convicted or arrested of certain felony offenses, and Wilma was not.
But under the circumstances, should an exception be made because of the past history and the past connections of these horrific crimes?
I think that's something that needs to be legislated.
As I understand it, can't you keep doing manually key checks against CODIS, against DNA?
That I don't know.
When did Wilma become a suspect?
As soon in Lorianne's case,
Yes.
as soon as the results came back with David and Robin's case.
So he had never been a suspect back in decades ago?
I can't speak to what the in Lorianne's case,
Yeah.
specifically Lorianne's case. No.
Is there anything to say, I mean, this person went his life without committing a felony, flew under the radar. Is there anything to say about that, the fact that he did it so well flying under the radar about this?
I don't know if it's the fact that he did so well or it's the fact that technology has improved and we're better able to identify individuals.
Has Wilmer's DNA been tested against other cold cases and they found that he's been excluded? He didn't do that. And if so, what are those cases? Because that would be useful, I'm sure, for some family members who are kind of
I can only speak to the cases that we're involved with, and those where we have had biological forensic biology, which means DNA, where we've had those samples. Yes, they've been tested. The cases.
Do we know where Lorian was going that night to see a friend or?
She was actually dropped off to go to her boyfriend and her had a fight. He let her out of the vehicle and understood that she was going to walk to a party. He went to the party and went back and didn't find her.
Right. We last know that she was only a foot walking.
She was on good, and there's obviously nothing that we have that would show that Alan Wilmer Sr. came upon her as she was walking away from the little slip.
No.
Also, can you explain the Saki grants and exactly how that figured in with the funding that made all of this possible?
So, the
Is that
section,
accurate to say it made it all possible?
I wouldn't say possible. We had been, it's been very helpful. And let me first address Saki. So Saki is a sexual assault kit initiative, and it's a grant that was obtained through the Attorney General's office, Attorney General Miara's office. And so what Saki does for the Virginia State Police is it funds our violent crime analytical support team, some of our analyst positions. It also funds some of our testing that we do outside of the Department of Forensic Sciences. We test, the lab used is DNA International Labs. And so we had previously to the grant, yes, we've tested with DNA International before, but this grant just helps fund that and bear those costs.
Are we tying Alan Wilmer Sr. into any other cases that are out there?
I'm not going to say yes. Yeah, we're not ruling anything out.
And that evidence has been sent away to this, is it the DNA International Labs? Is that the name of the lab?
I can only speak to cases within my division.
Are any other cases that are hot right now that we're saying, hey, let's send this away and let's see if this is a hit from Alan Wilmer?
Not within my division.
Not?
How many cases?
We're not able to provide that level of detail, Andy. Just keep in mind that, a close eye is being given to all of these cases. We are, it's not just the DNA evidence, but looking at just the activity of Wilmer, his behaviors, his patterns, etc. So a lot of cases are being looked at and investigated right now, but we cannot provide that.
Fair enough. Can you tell us what his behavior patterns were that you have already determined?
Well, just like Captain Rival explained, earlier, he was always very near the water. He traveled the community quite a bit in various vehicles. It's looking at the proximity of some of these cases, in the general area.
Do we think that after the murder that Wilmer dumped Lorian's body into the water?
That's speculate. We
don't
can't
know.
answer that.
So can you give us the confirmed number of victims by this person? Do we have a number so far, what that number is? 4.
It's 4.
It is 4.
Yes.
Now, and suspected, do we have a suspected number?
We do not.
No.
If he had lived, what would have been the charges? I'm assuming, of course, first-degree murder, among others. Correct?
Yes.
And just for the record, where there are 4 cases now, but there is nothing right now inside your jurisdiction dealing with Alan Wilmer Sr. or any other victims.
Nothing that can conclusively link Alan Wilmer.
Can you say how many cases has his DNA been compared?
No,
You don't have that, or
I don't have that.
I know you didn't know Lorian, but if there is anything that you could say about the historicalness of this and your role in this now to look at this justice.
I think it's listening to the families, both David's family and Robin's family, and listening to the Comptons and Lorian's sister. It's a sense of relief. It's just I'm just happy that there's some kind of resolution for them. I know it's not justice, but it is resolution.
Will you consider putting Brian Pettit on the state police cold it's on Suffolk now, but so many more people can see it as it's on the state police.
I understand that, but inclusion on that site is not compulsory. So it's not mandatory. So that's something we will have a discussion with Suffolk about.
My question is more for you. I filed numerous FOIA requests for these cases that have been closed. And what I get is these cases are not closed. They're still open.
We are actively investigating all unsolved cases. So,
But in this case, and with Terry Howell, for example, you said, look, this is who would be charged. So why are those cases not being opened up to the public? These case files, close to myself and reporters.
I personally wasn't involved in your FOIA request, but we can discuss after the conference.
Two things real quick. Have you been able to establish a timeline of movements of Wilmer Sr. and also, to the best of your knowledge, did he act alone?
So
In the cases, in the 4 cases.
So in the 4 cases, as far as the specific timeline, no. Did he act alone? That's an unknown.
Out of curiosity, how many new tips have you gotten since the last press conference around Wilmer's activities that might not involve him killing someone, but having encounters with him? Because I've seen a large number of those online, which I don't
I don't
trust.
have those numbers.
We don't have an exact number to share with you.
But are
Just
those
know
coming in?
tips are coming in, yes. And that's why we're asking for people to continue sharing information, providing these tips.
After the press conference, this was like a year ago,
24th January.
so who came forward to suggest that we test for, that you guys test for Lori and Powell? Was it the Gloucester Sheriff's Office or?
Yeah, that's a good question. Can you give us the timeline of what happened in January of 2024 to Lori Ann Powell?
I mean, there's so many cases. How did you know to link it up to test?
What you need to appreciate is, and what I refer to it as, the working group. So it's the agents and the analysts from the multiple agencies. Yes, the probability that he could possibly be involved drastically increased when that conclusive link was made. And so that's when it began.
So who suggested this case be tested?
That was born out of the working group. Can I tell you who specifically said, hey, let's test Wilmer's DNA against Lori Ann's? No, all I can tell you is that's something that came from our working group, our agents and analysts, and their investigative efforts.
Was it the state police working?
We work now. It's not state police. The FBI are involved with us step by step.
And at the time of January 2024, you were not even, Wilmer wasn't even on the radar for Lori Ann Powell. Is that fair? In January 2024.
We don't rule anything out, but as far as was it up there? No.
He wasn't a suspect.
Right. And then how long after January 2024 did evidence be sent away to test for Lori Ann Powell?
I don't have that here.
We can follow up with you on that.
Yeah, I think it's important.
I can tell you.
Yes, sir.
Is there a kind of a legislative fix when that's the to name specifically attach a rider to a bill that will allow someone like this
To be entered into CODIS? Yeah.
So I've seen that on the federal level. Just name specific, this guy will do this. I mean, you can be very, very particular. If that's what's holding up getting the information in the CODIS, is there a legislative fix around it?
I'm sure there could be a legislative fix.
Would the state police support that?
I cannot speak for the superintendent, but I'm almost certain we would.
There's a geographic profile been done by the FBI or potential state police of Wilmer and potential victims. I've crunched it on my own using Kim Lawson's book, and it really centers on the river area, York River. I'm kind of curious as a geographic profiled at any time?
There's been a number of profiles, but it makes sense that he was a commercial fisherman, so he gravitated towards the water.
Did Wilmer have any venue that involved?
Yes,
Yes.
not yes, they have that.
Was the struck located or the boat ever located? His vessel.
That I'm not aware of.
I'll find out for you.
Okay.
All right.
And the evidence, and what was in the lab again that tested the DNA for Northern Valley?
It's DNA Labs International,
Out of Deerfield, Florida.
and that's in the press package too.
Yes. Yes.
And just any words about, this happened a long time ago, people that I may not remember correctly, or I may not have seen what I've seen, but it'd still be useful to give you guys a call regardless.
Absolutely.
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 Any information could be the one tip that's needed to connect him to another case.